All right, let's just get right into it. We all have a digital identity, right? But if we're being honest with ourselves, we don't really own it. Not really. It's scattered across countless companies, platforms, data brokers. It's this weird reflection of us that we have zero control over, and it's being used in ways we definitely never agreed to. So today, we're going to look at a pretty radical proposal to fix all that. It's called the Enkai Doctrine, and it's all about one thing: taking back control.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You book a single night at a hotel, and for the next 6 weeks, literally every website you visit is showing you ads for that same hotel chain in that same city. You're getting deals on rental cars you don't need. It feels like your digital self has this awful memory leak where every little thing you do online just spills out and follows you everywhere. And look, this isn't some bug. It's the foundation of the modern internet. But what if it didn't have to be this way?
Yeah, that feeling of being followed, it isn't just a feeling. It's a feature of the whole system. And that brings us to the core of the problem, which we can really think of as the constant watcher. This massive, invisible architecture that's designed to do one thing: observe, correlate, and monetize every single click we make.
So how exactly is this giant watchtower built? Well, it's a bunch of tools, most of them totally invisible to us. You've got cross-site trackers that follow your digital footprints from one site to the next. Then data brokers come in and perform what's called correlation, stitching together all these seemingly random pieces of your life. That hotel stay, your shopping habits, maybe even who you voted for, all into a single comprehensive file. Even something as simple as a loyalty program acts as a bridge, linking what you buy in the real world to your online profile. The end result? These incredibly persistent digital profiles that, frankly, know you in ways you might not even know yourself.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter, the fundamental question the Enkai Doctrine is trying to answer. It's a real puzzle, isn't it? How do you keep a consistent sense of who you are, your history, your preferences, your memories, without having to broadcast all of it to the entire world just to, buy a plane ticket or join a forum? This is the central challenge of living online today.
So how do we solve this puzzle? Well, the solution that's proposed requires a pretty radical shift in how we think about this stuff. Instead of trying to erase our digital identity or just scatter it to the winds, the goal is to build strong walls around it. The idea isn't to get rid of your identity, but to finally, truly contain it. And this is such a crucial distinction. Anonymity, that's about hiding. It's about being a ghost in the machine. Sovereignty is totally different. It's about ownership. It's about standing firmly in the digital world and being able to say, this is me, and I decide who gets to see which parts of me and when. It's all about control, not disappearance.
So, what does a sovereign identity actually look like? Well, the doctrine defines it with 3 key ideas. First, it's singular at the root. There's one core private you. But, and this is key, it's plural in expression. Think about it. You're a different version of you with your boss than you are with your best friend, right? This lets you present different, contained versions of yourself in different situations. And most importantly, all of it, it's owned and controlled 100% by you.
Okay, so that all sounds good in theory, but how do we actually build it? The doctrine proposes a structure that's kind of like a high-security vault for your identity. And to use this vault the right way, you need to understand the 3 different types of keys involved.
Let's break down how this vault works. First, you have the master key. This is your core sovereign identity. It unlocks everything, but the number 1 unbreakable rule is that it never leaves the vault, ever. Second, you have temporary keys. You generate a new one for every single interaction. Think of them like disposable key cards for a hotel room, designed for one-time use. And finally, there's the mailbox key. That's just a simple bridge, a way for you to safely interact with the old, insecure world of email and phone numbers when you absolutely have to.
Let's just focus on that master key for a second. There is only one. You create it just once, and it represents the absolute root of who you are online. The most important rule in this entire system, and it's worth repeating, is that this key, your core identity, is never ever shared with anyone, for any reason. It's for you and you alone. Now, this slide basically formalizes that key metaphor into 3 distinct layers, using something called DIDs, or decentralized identifiers. The easiest way to think of a DID is as a secure digital address that you and only you control. So, layer 1 is your root DID. Again, you never share it. Its job is to anchor your entire personal history, kind of like a private digital diary. Layer 2 is for contextual DIDs. Those are the temporary keys, the disposable ones you create and share for a single purpose, like booking that hotel. And layer 3 is just for external IDs, insecure bridges like an email address that you use to connect to the old world. And this just brilliantly illustrates how we solve our original problem.
So let's go back to that hotel. In this new world, the hotel never ever sees your real identity. They don't see where else you've traveled or what you've bought or what you've been searching for. All they see is a temporary, single-purpose ID and a proof that says, yep, you're eligible to book a room. Once you check out, that temporary ID can be retired and the connection is broken. The ads stop, the tracking stops, it's over.
So the connection to the hotel is severed. It's gone. But does that mean your own memory of the trip just vanishes into thin air? Absolutely not. And this is where the whole concept gets really, really powerful. This is about having a perfect memory of your own life without leaving a public trace for everyone else to follow.
And here it is, the crucial distinction that makes it all work. You maintain a complete, unbroken history of your life. That's the continuity for you. But because each interaction uses a separate, disposable identity, platforms and marketers can't connect the dots. They can't build that global profile on you. That's the no correlation for them. In short, your history belongs to you, not to them.
What this system does is it fundamentally rewrites our digital contract. On the left, you see what is now forbidden by default. The global profiles, the behavioral tracking, the public activity histories, basically the entire business model of surveillance capitalism. And on the right is what you get to protect, a complete and private personal history, the foundation for your own personal AI, and a true continuous sense of self that you control.
I think this quote from the doctrine just absolutely nails it. History isn't being erased, it's just being moved. It's being taken out of a public, exploitable space on some company's server and put into a private, sovereign space that only you can access. Your life story stops being their product.
And this is where it starts to get really futuristic. What can you do with this complete private history of yours? Well, you can build your own personal AI. Imagine an assistant that lives entirely inside your private data vault, learning exclusively from your experiences and working only for you. It could help you make decisions, draft emails, remember details from years ago, all without ever sharing a single byte of your private data with anyone. This is so important. The AI gets to learn and grow because your history is local, not in spite of it.
So, when you put all these different pieces together, what starts to emerge is a completely new paradigm for what it even means to exist online. It's about becoming a truly sovereign self in this digital realm we all live in. This slide just sums up the 5 core pillars of this new world perfectly. Your root DID gives you personal continuity. The contextual DIDs guarantee your privacy in every interaction. External IDs are just bridges to the old web. Your history becomes local, and your AI becomes truly sovereign. It's not just a small improvement, it's a complete inversion of how the internet works today.
And here it is, the final, official statement of the doctrine. It's not about being invisible. It's about being in control. Your identity is your own. It's bound only to the context you choose. It can't be extracted and sold out from under you, and all the while, you never lose that single continuous thread of who you are.
So we'll just end with this question. Imagine for a minute if the web wasn't built on watching you. Imagine if you could interact and create and connect without leaving a permanent, exploitable data trail behind you. What would that freedom even feel like? What new ideas or businesses or communities could you build? It's a pretty powerful thing to think about.